Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Plan with Eva from Instagram, and this week I'm going to be planning the week of February 22nd to the 28th. I am using this beautiful kit from StickyEssentials, and here I am. I switched out the bottom washi and just cut it down because I wanted to lighten up the spread a little bit more. The other washi was a little too busy, so I just wanted to use a little bit of it. So here you can see that I used a washi I picked from Simply Gilded. It has red foil on a white background, and I just matched it up with the washi on the bottom and cut off the excess. I have filmed 4 videos by now, and I need to do voiceovers for all of them, so hopefully I have a lot more videos for you guys to be watching, and I'll be able to catch up really soon on my channel. I am really looking forward to showing all my green spreads because I don't usually like green that much, but this year I was really vibing with the color green and I decided to do a whole month of it. So you're going to be seeing a lot of kits with green popping out for the next couple weeks after this one. This week my fiance and I were planning to get married at City Hall, but because of different circumstances it didn't end up working out. So instead I'm kind of commemorating our 12.5 year date anniversary for this week. We started dating in August 24th of 2008, I believe, and it's been 12.5 years, and I love marking down our month anniversaries, our anniversaries whenever I can, just because I always look for a reason to celebrate different things and something to look forward to. So I really enjoyed using this kit because the clip art was adorable, and I was able to add some special accents everywhere and hearts everywhere just to spruce up the spread a little bit more with more silver foil. And I end up using some glitter headers from Planner Choco, I believe, and some heart headers from Sadie Sticker. So you'll be seeing that in a little bit, but right now I'm putting down the date covers. And throughout this spread, there's some brown sprinkled in there because that was what was provided in the kit, and I always try to use up as much as the kit as possible. I think if I were to do this kit again, I would probably just omit the brown because it was kind of throwing off the kind of soft feminine touches, and I think the whole point was to kind of incorporate the chocolate covered strawberries within the spread, but I think it just made the spread look it would have been a little bit more accelerated or excelled if I didn't use any of the brown. I'm going to go ahead and let the video play out for the rest of the base, and then I'll be back to talk to you guys a little bit more about what happened on my day-to-days. Here is the base laid out, and as you can see, I actually ended up adding some extenders for the days that needed it. And I love using the weekend banners from Sticky Essentials. I think they look so fancy, and I really love weekend banners, so I always love when kits provide them, because I've been noticing that some shops, they don't even do them anymore, which I guess it's understandable because Saturday and Sundays are obviously the weekend, but I just like marking them. Starting off on Monday, we had a little grade level meeting for our grade level because the week before that, I think something happened, so we weren't able to meet. After that, I was able to get a haircut this day, and it's actually been a while since I've had my last haircut, but I intended to go in there to tell him to just cut off a few inches, but I wanted to get a lot more layers in my hair, so I ended up cutting a lot more than I thought I was going to, but I was completely fine with it. And I think as I get older, as long as my hair is still able to be curled, I'm pretty fine with how it turns out during the haircut session. And I've been going to the same guy for like the last couple of years, so I always know that it'll end up looking really well after it grows out. As I've been talking about in my last videos, I've been on a K-drama kick, and I still continue to be, which is why I used the pumpkin paper girl there with the Crafts by Taui TV set. And this day I actually finished a drama run-on Netflix, and I ended up starting Hospital Playlist, which I was trying to do a new thing where I went on Drama Cool to see, it's kind of like an IMDb, but it's for like Asian movies, dramas, and shows and stuff like that. And I was trying to see what the recommended was for the highest rated show, and Hospital Playlist was at the very, very top. So I was starting to get to see what was the hype, because it was #1 out of everything. And I was really surprised because at this point I finished it already for a while, but the show was pretty average, and there were some characters that I watched in other dramas, which is why I also wanted to watch it. But I was expecting it to be a lot better just because it had such high ratings. So I'm curious if you guys have watched it before. Please let me know what your thoughts are, because I didn't think it was that great. It was still good, but I thought it was going to be better just because it's like top rated. Moving on to Tuesday, this day I was actually not feeling really good, and that's why I marked it with the Coffee Monsters little emoticon at the top there. This was the couple days after I took my vaccine, if you watched my last video. So after the second dose, I didn't get too many of the bad symptoms that a lot of other people were having, like the fevers or anything like that. My fiance had to take off work early because he was feeling so sick. I didn't get any of that, but I was just feeling really unwell from all these canker sores that were happening in my mouth. I talked about them last week as well, I think. But they were just happening in my mouth, and whenever you have a canker sore, you know it's a pain. But I was just having like about 3 of them, I think, in different spots, and that's always a pain because it just made me not want to eat anything. And if I was to eat anything or even brush my teeth, something as simple as that, if it touches anything, it just gets really, really painful. So that, on top of the dosage, it was just not feeling really good. So this day I also painted my nails and was able to edit. And you won't see it now, but usually when I mark down when I edit, do voiceovers, or when I'm filming, I always write edit week something. And when I say week 1, it's not necessarily week 1 of the year or the month or anything like that. It's actually just the date that the spread starts with. So for this week that you're looking at, I would call it week 22 because it has the 22nd as the first date. So that's usually what I write down when you guys see it in my planner, if you were curious about that. Moving on to Wednesday, I was able to do the voiceover for week 1, which was really nice. I think this was when I was kind of just getting on a roll. I was loving painting my nails, and I've been really enjoying painting them to match the spreads for you guys. So if you guys are looking at them, I hope you guys can appreciate the effort I'm trying to put in, so you guys have something nice to look at while you guys are watching this video. If you guys are ever just wanting to look at the plans, at least that'll be something nice to look at for you guys. And I think that's really encouraged me to be able to film more as well. So it's been really nice to be able to have time to plan, have time to paint my nails. And the day I'm doing my voiceover for this, I'm actually on spring break, so I'm really, really excited for all of that. And just to be able to push out these videos for you guys, because I was really missing it before. I might go on a hiatus again, you never know, just because sometimes I really do just like the times to do it myself. But for the moment right now, I'm really enjoying it to share with you guys. Later on during this day, I was able to go to therapy. I think I've talked to you guys about my journey. This year was when I first started going back to therapy again, and it's been really cathartic and just helpful. Sometimes there's things that a lot of things that I just keep inside, and I don't like to go to my fiance or my family or my friends about it. And the therapist is kind of like a neutral party that I feel safer to just talk to. If you guys are ever considering therapy and if it's possible for you, I would definitely recommend it. I tried to get my sister to do it for the longest time, but she kind of just kept pushing it off, and she finally started doing it, and I'm really proud of her for doing so. And I think it's just a really good outlet for everyone to just kind of talk and share different things that might be happening in your lives that may be impacting you more than you may know or not know. I'm still looking to see if I want to continue with my current therapist or not. I appreciate that she's known a lot about me at this point, and I really do like that. And thinking about starting over with another therapist is very anxiety driven, and thinking about how to break up with my therapist, as funny as that might sound, is like a lot of high intensity anxiety for me as well to think about. So I've kind of been pushing it off and trying to see how our sessions have been going and seeing how progressive they are for me mentally, and just in general, how if I would see this going on for a longer period of time, because I think therapy in general is helpful, but I think having someone that's helpful, that's talking to you, is also a good idea. So just some things to consider when you guys are looking for a therapist is that it might not necessarily be the first one you talk to that's going to be the one that works out for you. I have had one before this, and this one I've had a lot more sessions with than the previous one. The previous therapist I had, I've only had 3 sessions with her before the pandemic started, and I just really didn't want to do telehealth. And I think the telehealth thing is also a barrier that's kind of creating a kind of wall between me and my therapist right now, but we'll see how it goes. I'm moved on to Thursday now, and I am not a cook at all, but when I do cook for our household, just me and my fiance, I tend to do really unhealthy meals, and I follow recipes to a T. This night we were doing chicken wings, and we were using the air fryer for them, and I was in charge of doing all of them, and I was feeling ambitious. So I just found recipes for 3 different types of hot wings, some honey barbecue wings, and just I think it was like a Korean type wing, where I was just following the recipe and the sauce for all of 3 of them, and my fiance really enjoyed them, and that's always nice to hear, especially for someone that doesn't usually cook. The Friday I'm planning out now was a very important day because this was the day when I decided that I wanted to get back into my health kick. Not exactly healthy, I should say, my fitness kick, I should say. I decided to just start off on my fitness journey. I knew it was going to be something crazy insane, and I didn't want to follow the regimen, that kind of routine schedule that Chloe Ting had before, because the year before this, I followed her schedule to a T, her workout routines that are free on her website, and I loved it a lot. But later on throughout the year, I just fell out of it, and I didn't like it as much anymore. And as I was going through it this time, I knew that I didn't want to do the same thing. So instead, I just kind of started off with something simple. I just found one of her videos that kind of tackles the whole body, and did a short 15-minute workout, and I felt proud of myself because I started, and I haven't been doing it too consistently, but I would say I try to do it at least 3 to 4 times if I'm really lucky and really good that week. Sometimes I'll do it 5 days a week, and I think as long as I keep that up, at least I'll feel a little bit better about myself that I'm trying at least. My next tackle is to try to tackle being healthier in my eating habits, especially with sugar. I have such a sweet tooth that it's really unhealthy and bad, and my family and friends have joked that I would have diabetes at this point in my life, and it's very surprising that I don't. And having diabetes is definitely not funny. It does, I think a couple people in my family have it, not that many where it's a concern, but it is something that is in my family history, and it is something to be concerned about. But considering how much I consume sugar, it is really surprising that I haven't had any detrimental effects from it. I have gone to a dessert place in LA before, and like my mantra is always that you never know when you're gonna go back, and I ended up spending like over $100 something in desserts. And one of the things that was included in there was a like large piece of cake that was probably like a square shape that's probably 6 by 6, I want to say. It's pretty large, and nobody was trying to eat it with me because nobody else is as big of a sweet person as I am, but I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to try all the things. So to segue back into the spread, this night I decided to make some DIY chocolate covered strawberries as well as some whipped cream, and they were delicious. I love doing chocolate covered strawberries on my own, especially when the strawberries are good. It's really hard when they're not in season, but the batch that I bought this time was really delicious. And at the end of the evening, my friend's dad passed away recently, and this was the day when we went to his wake, just to show our respects and to be there for our friend. It's really sucky to talk about, so I'd rather just move on. But I really feel for him and his family right now, and we ended up watching WandaVision and True Detective to end the night. Moving on to Saturday, I continued with my workout like I was talking about, and it was nothing too long, but just something just to try to keep myself going with the routine just so it could become a habit for me. And this whole morning, there was a whole ordeal because at this point, I've been working remotely for a really long time because I'm a teacher, and for me, I have asthma, so I am considered high risk, and I did not need to go back to school for in-person teaching, as well as all my students for preschool weren't planning to return, and our deal was that we wouldn't need to go back. So as for me, I have been remotely teaching and haven't been really using my car, but during this whole time period, during these last couple weeks, there was a lot of snow buildup and there was a lot of cold weather. So for those reasons, I didn't even think about my car just because I never had to use it. My fiance always drove because we only have one garage space, and the other one we kind of have to fight for a street parking space. So that day we finally decided to go to fix my car because the week before this, I believe, we tried to see if it would work, and the battery was completely dead, and we knew we would have to jump it. We just didn't know when we would have the time. And this day it was actually super, super sunny out. So we decided to go deal with it. And it was a whole ordeal, and it took up a lot of time. But after that, we ended up going to my cousin's house, and we just ended up playing some MJ, which is Mahjong. It's kind of a tiles versus card game that I think it's popular in Asian culture in general. But my family grew up playing it, so I love playing it. And we ended up just drinking and just talking until late at night with everyone, and then we ended up going home and sleeping pretty late. But that day, I just remember it was really, really nice out. It was like the first time it felt like it was we were getting closer to spring. And it's going to finish up Saturday here, but I'll just continue on with Sunday and talk to you guys a little bit about what happened then. Not much happened. We just slept in like normal. I did a lot of some work. If you're a teacher, you'll know that you don't only work the time that you are in school. Most of the time you are working outside of the school. And this day I was doing some more work on some slides. Doing remote teaching, it's been a lot more work, I felt like, in home as well. And doing more work at school, it's like double the amount now since we're at home, which is ironic. But we ended up finishing True Detective the day before, so on this day we actually started Sisyphus, which is a K-drama, and it's really hard for me to convince my fiance to watch K-dramas together just because he doesn't like to read subtitles when we're eating, just because he doesn't like to look up a lot of the time, just so he can focus on his dinner. But this day we started Sisyphus because it has one of my favorite actresses in it, and we wanted to see how it would turn out since it was supposed to be an action type movie. This day was also the day when my mouth was fully healed from all the canker sores, so that was amazing. It was like I felt like a brand new person just because I was able to do things without thinking too much about how it was going to kill me and hurt me. My dog also threw up this day, which was tragic, but it wasn't anything too serious, and sometimes he does that when he just has an upset stomach. so we had to deal with that. Those are all my plans for the rest of this week, so I'm going to go ahead and let this finish playing out, and I'll be seeing you guys in a little bit at the end of the video just to say goodbye. Here's the final spread. I did not realize that I didn't show a little wiggle before I did all the writing, but here's the finished spread with all the writing. And here's some close-up shots that's going to be showing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you guys come back again next week. There'll be a lot of spreads with a lot of green in them, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you guys have any questions about any stickers, please just let me know down below, and I'll try my best to answer all your questions. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!